It wasn't me.
And we are live. And Sis is fired up tonight. I love it. Another edition K&K show, Wednesday, March 3rd, 2020. Mr. Beelan, how are you tonight?
It's good. March 2nd, Kurt.
Oh, March 2nd. Sorry about that. March 2nd. Look at that. I'm a day ahead.
Getting ahead of himself.
Eddie Murphy with the first comment tonight. Good evening, gentlemen. Hope all's well. MLB and MLBPA stink. I don't know if I'll watch when baseball eventually comes back. We'll get into that. I think a lot of people feel the way. So what else is going on, Mr. Beelan?
No, listen, Eddie took the right out of my words out of my mouth. Very disappointed.
Yep.
Very disappointed.
Yep. We'll get into it, but I think you're right on. Mr. Rosen, how are you?
Good evening, gentlemen. And to echo those words, especially being down here in Florida with so many teams that usually come down to Florida for spring training, and it's not even just the players, it's all the people that work in the stadiums and everything, and you know, who try and earn a little bit of money during this time of year. It's just very disappointing, and I'm sure we'll talk in a little bit about it.
Our good friend Henry Zimenoff. What has 2022 brought us so far? Can we save the chaos until March Madness soon? Big March Madness show next Sunday, boys. Next Sunday. So if you guys are around, we'll do a bracket breakdown right after the bracket. Mr. Kirkpatrick, how are you?
I'm doing well. Like Paul said, you know, it's selfish baseball, you know, especially these times when the country and the world is going through COVID, and you got these owners and, you know, players going back and forth. Come on, let's have a sport. You know, I'm going to follow the independent leagues this year, and you're going to be surprised how much I follow them. And I think Beelan has to make the 10 sports commandments. We'll get him 2 fake stones, and he'll have the 10 commandments of sports.
There you
go. Our own
That's
Moses.
funny.
In honor of Ash Wednesday, we'll do this 10 sports commandments.
And last but certainly
Part
not
the Red Sea.
and last but certainly not least, our own coach, Mr. Coach Siciliano. What's going on?
Not much. Very excited about the show tonight. And the audience, as you notice, he always saves me for the last.
I do.
And it's very self-explanatory why I go last.
Again, hello from our really good friend Ricky Winkowicz saying, "What's up, boys? What's up, Ricky?
What's up, buddy?"
We know why Cisco's last. That's when the dementia kicks in.
Beelan with the first bullet of the night.
I love people that hide behind computers. I love people like that.
Henry's also saying, anyway, the women's side of college basketball has begun. Conference tournament starts today. Colorado easily defeated Washington earlier today. They're on to the quarterfinal round. I think there's a couple of smaller men conferences started also.
Yes.
But
the NEC by us, Kurt. Northeast Conference always is one of the first ones by us that gets rolling. We'll see who gets in there. They usually get a 16 seed, but it is local by us, so that's always something we keep an eye on.
All right, Mr. Kirkpatrick, you got the agenda, so I'm not sure where you're going tonight.
Last week went well. We just had like an open agenda type of show, round the horn type thing. We all had topics that we kind of know what each other's, you know, ideas are, but we don't know exactly what we're going to bring up, so it keeps us on our toes as well. And in place of your quick hitters tonight, Kurt, because you have a couple topics later you want to talk about.
Okay.
We're going to go to Mr. Siciliano's quick hitters this evening. So you are up first, Mr. Siciliano.
Okay, just give me 1 second. Thank you very much.
Okay.
We're gonna start with the Big East tournament, and we'll start with the order of Mr. Valenti, Kenny, Paul, and then Mr. Beelan. What's your feelings on it?
You know what? Listen, I love the Big East tournament. I've been watching. I watched. When St. John's probably 85. I was young. I'm not young. I was probably 11, 10, but that's when I first started following it. It's made me a St. John's fan. I think it's the best tournament. It's just the history of the Big East tournament, the Garden, the Mecca. I love watching it, and hopefully, St. John's, I mean, they're playing now, but hopefully they can go on a run. But I think it's very, listen, I think Villanova and Providence obviously are the two favorites. UConn's up there too. But listen, I think it's wide open. I don't think there's any, it's going to be this team. I think there's a lot of teams that could win it, and I'm pumped up for it.
I'm a little shocked you didn't mention my boys.
Well, no, your boys are hot. Your boys are hot. I will give you credit. I mean, I wouldn't put them with the top two, but can they win it? Absolutely. I absolutely think they could go on a run and win it. Yes.
Do your boys go in the NIT if they don't make the big show?
Yeah, I think they will.
No?
I mean, I'll be honest. It's been a disappointing year for St. John's. They were definitely like pre-ranked fourth in the conference. They finished fourth last year. Had a lot of people
They
back.
were hot. Yeah, they were hot in the beginning.
You know
of the
what?
year.
Just a lot of they're just not lucky with the injuries. I mean, their whole team hasn't played together, and they've blown so many games less than 4 points.
Oh yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, they can go on a run. They're a very talented team. So we'll see.
Okay, we'll go to Paul.
Sort of to echo what Kurt just said, I think it's a pretty wide open tournament. Even though Providence won, I'm not sure they're going to be that good enough to win the tournament. Obviously, you got to like Villanova. They're always there. I like your boys, Seton Hall. I think they have a very legitimate chance to come out with the tournament win. And
Thank you.
I think it's going to be a exciting, close tournament. And I think just about every year someone surprises. So
That's for sure. Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm. Kenny.
Just like it's wide open, like Paul said. I'm going to take it even one step further. I think Providence is going to get the experience they need in this tournament, the Big East tournament, lose a heartbreaking game, and then make a nice little run in the NCAA tournament because they got their little experience for the Big East tournament. But a couple teams to watch out for in this Big East tournament, Creighton and Xavier are two sleepers in this tournament. And this is going to be the conference, I think, like last year you had Georgetown get in. I think this year, because the teams at the top are not way above the top over the middle range teams. And one of these mid-range teams, maybe even a Seton Hall, maybe a St. John's, but I'm going to go with Creighton or Xavier to win the tournament and get into an at-large bid over Villanova, and Providence, and UConn. I think one of those teams.
That's fair. That's fair. Beelan?
Yeah, I mean, listen, piggyback on everybody, but I like it because it's a nice preview for a lot of teams and for the tournament. And like Kenny said, and you got a couple of sleepers. I mean, listen, I loved UConn all year. I still think UConn can win this Big East tournament.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just a nice little preview for 5 or 6 teams that could be in the tournament in 2 weeks. So
Shooting back to very good. Thank you, John. Shooting back to Kurt. What do you think's going on with these teams going down the stretch here? They're choking. For example, Purdue, Ohio State, Kansas. Are they doing this because they're already in the big dance?
No, but I will tell you this, and I mentioned this to Jen, because you texted me maybe 2 weeks ago, and you said, home field means nothing. And you know what? What? On Saturday, Gonzaga went to St. Mary's. Bang, lost. Auburn on the road. Bang, lost. Who else? Purdue on the road. Bang, lost. All of them on the road, lost. Listen, any road win is, it's so hard to win on the road. It really is. And I mean, again, listen, Gonzaga plays St. Mary. If Gonzaga plays St. Mary's in this Western Conference tournament on a neutral court, load up, because Gonzaga's payback plus 20. But in that little St. Mary's gym, it's a different animal. But getting back, I don't know if they're resting or whatever. I think it's a long season. I think it's a lot of parity, and it's tough to win on the road.
You're going to sit there and tell me you had Wisconsin over Purdue last night?
No. I'm not saying I had them, but I'm saying it's very hard. But I'm saying it's extremely hard to win in Wisconsin. Yes, absolutely.
Paul, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, to sort of piggyback on what Kurt said, gone are the days, I think.
That's all you keep saying. You keep piggybacking off anything he says. Don't
No,
you have your own
geez.
opinion?
Jump on the
But go
bed.
ahead.
Jump on.
Oh, my
Paul.
God.
Jump on the
Don't you have your own
bandwagon, baby.
Do you
opinion?
want to do you want to interject every time
You're lucky I like you, but go ahead.
Oh, thank goodness. I'd hang up here.
I love you. You're a
No,
good man.
but
Yeah, sure.
gone are the days where Kentucky is getting every good player. Louisville's getting every good player. I mean, every college now, every team is
Yep.
Great point. Yeah, it's a great
talent
point.
has been dispersed throughout
Yep.
the basketball, college basketball, college basketball teams, and it doesn't take much anymore for teams to upset another team, regardless of whether they're home or on the road. So, the talent is so close nowadays that you go 1 through 10, any team can beat any other team. And I think that's why this tournament is going to be so open this year, because you never know who's going to win in any game. I mean, we're going to see some tremendous big upsets, this year. I think of 15.
For sure. Yep.
It's conceivable are going to wind up beating 1 or 2 this year again.
Mm-hmm.
Sis, I got to
Absolutely.
stop you for 1 second.
Great point, Paul. But go ahead, Kurt.
Comment coming in from our guy, Coach Breslin. Many teams are very good. I agree with what Paul said.
Okay.
Coach, how you doing?
And we got another great comment coming in from someone very special to our panel, Luby Rosen. Hi, having fun, boys? With a thumbs up.
Coach Breslin chimed in because Paul has him on his, what do you call it? He's a mutual friend with Coach Breslin, but he's not a mutual friend with me. Let's move on. Kenny.
I have no idea.
Kenny, what is
is
your
meant
take
by.
on this, Kenny? I'm teasing you. I'm busting your chops. Kenny.
My take on it is I think that some of these teams are overrated. Purdue, for example. I won't even say Purdue. Ohio State every year. Yeah, they win some games in their conference, but
So you're saying this is why they're choking down the stretch?
yes.
Okay.
I don't think
All
Ohio
right.
State's
That's
very
fair.
good. That's me. I don't think they're very good. Purdue is not a top 5 team in my opinion.
Kurt don't like their coach. I know
No,
that.
and you know what?
Go ahead.
Ohio State, sis, 2 in a row. Woodshedded last night. Get them
Nebraska,
out of there, too.
you
Get them
can't-
out
I
of
know.
there.
I know you don't like Painter, Coach.
No,
Coach, I know that.
no.
I don't care if you go to Nebraska with 3 players. You got to
Right.
beat Nebraska. I don't want to hear home field advantage when you're a top team in the Big Ten and you're playing a bottom team in the Big Ten. I don't want to hear you can't beat Nebraska on the road. So
Right.
you're not a good team in my opinion. So I think some of these teams are not very good, sis.
Okay.
And I think later on in the season, you start seeing the cream rise to the top.
I got you. Mr. Beelan.
And I'll keep it short. I mean, listen, out of 30 games, if you lose 4 or 5 or 6, I mean, it's pretty. I think it's pretty average, because if you think about like an NBA team, if they're playing 80 games and they're on the same schedule, you're probably losing like 12 to 20 games. I mean, so I don't know if they're overrated. I just think they need breathers sometimes and come back to life,
Good point. We're going to go a little bit to the to the NFL now, and we're going to start this one off with Mr. Paul Rosen. Then we're going to go to Kenny, Kurt, and Mr. Beelan.
Oh, who's that?
All right. You want me to put you first?
No.
We'll go Beelan. Hold up. Beelan, Paul, Kenny, and then I'll put Kurt last. Okay. That's the order. All right. Now, me and Mr. Rosen have been texting back and forth most of the day. Your take on Barkley, with the Giants, they're starting to listen to offers. Obviously, they got rid of Kyle Rudolph today, and they also got rid of who else, Paul?
Devontae Booker.
Like, why would you get rid of him? But, Paul, you got the floor.
I think they got rid of him because I think unless they get something like a first-round pick, they're going to
You think they're going to keep Barkley? Okay.
Yeah, I really do.
Okay.
I think they showed their hand at that one.
Okay. Beelan?
I I don't know. I think they're just looking for a new identity, and you know, I don't know. I don't think Barkley's going to come back from what he anywhere near what he was.
Okay.
To trade him, I'm all for it. To get rid of the other guys, I don't know. I don't understand the reason for it, but I don't know. I'm still like.
Well, here's a question for you, John, real quick. Who's going to give the Giants $7.2 million for Barkley?
I have a couple. I think maybe potentially the Dolphins.
Okay.
I said that. Yep.
Who are looking for a running back, and
Okay.
who the hell was the other team? I can't remember the other team off the top of my head right now, but I know definitely Dolphins are looking for a running back. I mean, it wouldn't be that bad. Plus, they have draft capital. So,
Okay. All right. Back to Paul. Who's giving the Giants $7.2 million for your boy? Because I know you don't want to part with this guy, but go ahead.
I know.
Who's giving him that money?
Ironically, who could probably use him and he would probably be great? Buffalo.
Yes.
Buffalo, if they had him with the offense.
That's a great spot for him. Never even thought.
Yeah.
That's a great
Sis,
spot.
a couple of comments coming in. I just want to read them real quick. Coach Breslin saying Barkley, trade him and get picks. Can't run anyway without a line. He's also saying creating cap space with releases. Our good friend Keith Bergman from the Rocky Mountain Sports Network saying Denver replaces Gordon with Barkley.
No.
Devontae Williams is.
I think Gordon's better than Barkley.
I do too. I do too. Absolutely. Kenny, what do you think on this?
We were talking for a few minutes. I have no problem and understand if the Giants if they have to trade Barkley. We're in a salary cap struggle here. Your Brett Favre's got traded. Tom Brady left the Patriots to go to the Buccaneers as a free agent.
Right.
Okay. Barkley's not on that level as those quarterbacks. So for losing Booker, Kurt, you guys released Booker. So he had a comeback year last year. What makes everybody think he's going to be great this upcoming year with the Giants? Right. He had one average year with the Giants. I'm okay with them releasing Booker. Yeah. I want to see who's available free agent wise, but a team just throwing this out there. Create some cap space. I doubt it, but I'm just, never say never. Seattle Seahawks, Chris Carson, or you work some money deals. Russ wants to come to New York. There's your Russell Wilson talks back on the table. But running back for running back, Barkley for Chris Carson, I would take Chris Carson on the Giants.
Kurt, your feelings on this?
You know what? Again, listen, I think the problem is, and again, we're going to get into one of my topics, is the salary cap and the cost, right? If Barkley was on this salary, I think it's like $7 or $8 million, it's okay. The problem is he wants Christian McCaffrey money. You cannot give that. They were just talking about the last Super Bowl teams, and it was like Blunt, who else?
Cam Akers
and that crew and all these teams that won Super Bowls, and you're like, who are these running backs? Fournette, look at these guys making the money. And the problem is you can't, are you going to play Barkley this year and then lose him for nothing, or trade and get a third-round pick, because you can't give this guy $20 million. I mean, he's not worth $20 million. No running back is worth $20 million. And
you know what? I think to trade him now, they would get nothing in return. And I think maybe the Giants are rolling the dice and saying, okay, if this guy can come back a little bit, show something, maybe we could trade him maybe at the trade deadline or even into the next offseason. But to trade him now would be, you'd wind up next 10 cents on a dollar, basically.
Right. And you know what, though? And Keith's saying, Beelan, you mentioned about Melvin Gordon. You said you'd rather have him than Barkley, right? the whole thing is like in Denver, right? Like he made $8 million last year, Melvin Gordon. You picked up Javonte Williams in the second round for nothing. I mean, what is that, $1 million contract? So that's the thing. It's like, go draft somebody. All right, maybe Melvin Gordon's a little better than who you're going to get in the third round this year, but the amount of money for $8 million to $1 million, it's now you have $7 million to build a team. You know?
Well, Kurt, sis, real quick, I got some of the top free agents' money. You just said Melvin Gordon, $8 million. The next one that makes sense I could see on the Giants, Leonard Fournette last year made just over $3 million. Okay, he's a free agent. You got Devontae Booker, we just let go for 2.7, so it's not much of a jump, $500,000. A couple other names, you got Sony Michel. Sony Michel made 2.4 million. James Conner is out there, 1.7 million. You don't need a superstar running back name on the Giants type of offense that Dable's going to want to run. You don't need a superstar back. I would go after any of those guys.
Real quick, I was on a Twitter Spaces, and the people were talking. They actually said if the Chiefs were interested, trade Barkley for Hilaire straight up.
That makes sense. I mean, you're going to save tons of money.
I'll tell you, that would be an interesting deal.
That's interesting.
And Damian Williams and Darrell Williams, the two Williams guys, are also free agents this year.
Right.
All right, the last one, we're going to go back to Mr. Beelan. Do the Giants trade up their 5th and 7th in this draft?
No. I think you draft at 5, and depending what happens with 6, you trade back on 7 and get more picks.
Mr. Paul.
Yeah, I mean, we were texting today. I definitely do not trade my 5th pick, depending on, again, what happens at number 6. As I said to you earlier today, if I could trade back a few spots and still get the player at 7, I would do it if I can get a couple of other picks, without a doubt.
Kenny?
See, Kurt, I'm just going to hypothetically speak. I don't want to talk Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to talk anything like that. I'm just throwing a team out there. Let's say you got the Carolina picking at 6. So I would trade back with 5 if somebody even like Carolina wants a quarterback and just trade one spot back. Or let's say Denver really is in love with a quarterback and they want to get ahead of Carolina, who they believe is going to take a quarterback. I would trade back a couple spots, because at 7 and 9, for example, or 7 and 10,
right,
you're going to still get a top-notch player. And at 5, all depends. We don't know how this draft is going to go. The linemen may be gone. So your top 2 offensive linemen may be gone by the time the Giants pick. I would trade back. If your number 1 guy is there at number 5, you don't trade back. So it's a yes and no answer. Says depending on how the draft goes and who the Giants have on the top of their board with me, if I'm going to try and trade back or not.
I hear you. Mr. Valenti, wrap it up.
I think the best case scenario, I think the Giants are in such a perfect position, right? But think about, say there's just crazy talk that the Lions might like Malik Willis and take him at 2. If that happens, now you're going to get a desperate team saying, all right, I got to jump Carolina to get the second best quarterback, and that's where the Giants can just rake in and say, give me your number 1 this year, your number 1 next year, and now then you're golden. That's what you want. That's what you want.
Yep.
Because somebody crazy is going to take these guys high, which they don't belong, and you're going to get a better player plus picks for next year, where now next year in a way better draft, now if you don't like Daniel Jones, you have 2 more first-round picks to play and say, I want to go get the Alabama kid, the Ohio State kid.
And this is a crazy draft where offensive linemen, you got your top 2, and then those next 2 or 3, I'm okay with in the later first round. The guy from the kid from Northern Iowa, the kid from Central Michigan, the interior lineman, the 2 of them, the Lindblom and Green, the interior lineman. There's good offensive linemen in the middle of the round. So if somebody wants to move up, I'm all about trading back this year.
They're always saying that the middle rounds, like the 3rd round, is where you get these top offensive linemen. I read that on a few different things, but why is it that way? I have no clue. But percentage-wise, whatever you want to call it, it works out that way.
Kenny,
But,
question from Keith for
That's
you.
my segment there.
Thank you, Mr. Sis. Kenny, real quick,
You're
I'll just ask you. Keith's asking, what's the worst case scenario for the Giants with the 5th pick?
Worst case scenario would be
Oh, I can answer this.
Neil and the offensive lineman gone from North Carolina State, Icky in Alabama. Those 2 guys gone, and the top 2 edge rushers gone, Thibodeau and
Hutchinson.
Hutchinson.
That would be the
Hutchinson's
worst.
going to the Lions.
Yeah, I
My
think so
opinion,
too,
anyway.
Sis. I think so too.
Yeah, that's my opinion. Yep.
But there's not a really bad. It's not the worst
Which is
case.
a shame, but go ahead.
It's not the end of the world scenario, Keith. At 5, there's still going to be a really good player for us to take, even if those 4 guys are taken off the board.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that in my segment shortly. So.
Awesome. Anything else, Sis?
Paul Rosen will be crying if Barkley gets traded.
I root for the jersey, not the player.
Any other questions for us?
I
Mr.
told you
Siciliano?
today, it's a business, pal. But
Yep.
go ahead. Kenny.
Oh, you're finished with your questions? You have any more?
Nope, I'm done.
Awesome start to the
Thank you,
show,
Mr.
Sis. Good start. Let's move on to Paul. I know he has a probably NFL topic he has for us, I believe.
Yeah. So since we're talking NFL and combine and quarterbacks, I wanted to talk a little bit about the combine starts today. I don't know if you guys plan to watch it or watch any of it, some of it. But I have some questions, and then I want to get into sort of a mock draft kind of thing. So we'll start with Sis, Thielen, Kurt, and Kenny.
Guys, Steven Waldman saying hello. So what's up, Steve?
What's up, Steve?
What up, Steve?
What's up, Steve?
Okay. We talked a little about the quarterbacks. Do you think there'll be any surprises with the quarterback prospects? Sis?
Yes. Mr. Pickett will go to Denver and Kurt's going to have a stroke. Yep.
Thielen?
I think Pickett's actually going to go to the Panthers. So, but yes, they'll be. Yes.
Kurt?
Yeah, and I think what it might be is, and I agree with Sis with Hutchinson, but I look at it like this. The Detroit Lions traded away a franchise quarterback who won a Super Bowl. I think they're going to look that the number 32 pick means nothing to them. They're not going to be able to. I mean, if you take a quarterback at number 32, it's useless. They take Sam Howell. He's never going to play. But if they like somebody, I think the surprise could be the Lions with Malik Willis at number 2. And it would be a bad move, but I could see the Lions taking a quarterback at 2. That's my surprise.
From a Giant standpoint, that would be the
Best scenario. Best scenario.
Exactly.
We know somebody.
Listen, boys. They're taking Hutchinson. That's not happening. That's just my opinion.
Kenny?
I think there could be a surprise quarterback, but I don't think it's going to be Kenny Pickett. Do not like him for some reason. I just think he's going to fall in. But I think your surprise quarterback, I'm not going to give a name, but I'm going to give a team. The Steelers have a good team. The Saints have a good team built around them on offense. They got Saints have Kamara. The Steelers have their offense. I think one of these quarterbacks goes to one of those 2 teams. That could be your surprise quarterback in the draft because they're not going to be on a winless team or a top, bottom level team. They're going to a playoff caliber team to right out of the draft. And I think that could be your surprise quarterback in this draft. One of those.
You guys all know Mel Kiper, correct?
Yep.
Oh,
Right.
terrible.
Okay. All right. Well, don't roll your eyes, Beeling, because I'll backhand you. But anyway, he said that this kid Pickett is ready to start in the NFL now. I heard him say that on a TV show. I'm just throwing that out there. That's all.
I don't want him starting on the Giants.
You
Daniel Jones.
know how many picks Mel Kiper got right last year?
Yeah. 3.
4.
Couple
Beeling,
comments.
you're a hater, but anyway.
Couple comments. Stephen Waldman saying Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers with a question mark. And then
No
Keith
way.
saying Caleb Ellerby is my dark horse to be a surprise NFL talent out of this draft. A lot of noise
That's a
about
name.
Ellerby,
Yeah.
That's a
second,
name.
third round.
Yep.
I've heard the name.
I
Okay,
think Western Michigan, I believe. Is it Western Michigan? One of those Michigans.
something like that. So every year, there's always a player that's hyped to go into the top 10 and they fall out for whatever reason. They get a reputation. Do you think there'll be any top 10 picks that will fall out of this year's draft after the combine? Sis?
Again, I mean, that happens every year. So I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes.
Feeling?
Yeah, Derek Stingley is going to drop to like in the 20s.
It's funny you say that because I was going to go last, but I'll just interject. He was the guy that I wrote down. So, yes, good call. Kurt?
Yeah, I agree with Beelan. I also think the Florida State, I think the kid is he from Florida State, the defensive end?
Uh-huh.
Defensive
Jermaine
end.
Johnson?
Yeah, I think.
Jermaine Johnson II.
I think him,
Yeah.
but I'm saying I agree with Beelan. Stingley, man, listen. I would love. I think if I was Denver, I want a linebacker, like a middle linebacker with that pick. But if you could put Stingley and Surtain together, man, whew, that's pretty damn.
You might
sick.
get Sauce Gardner at 9.
One
Yeah.
of those guys.
Kenny?
I am going to stick with my Kenny Pickett pick. I think I'm going to go bold and say that Panthers take Malik Willis. Pickett drops. And I don't think Washington's going to take a different quarterback. And I think Pickett could be the guy that slips to this Steelers or Saints in the
Okay.
mid-late round.
Is there a player that works their way into the top 10 after the combine? Sis?
I mean, what do you mean after the combine? Works the way into what?
All of a sudden, teams realize, hey, this guy can go, was a 15 to 20 pick. Now, all of a sudden, teams are considering player to go top 10.
I kind of feel like this. Pretty much these guys that are all going to the combines, they pretty much all have their stuff charted out. And by the time the combine is done, personally, they know exactly what they want. And I don't think there'll be anybody that wasn't in the top 10 at the combine that all of a sudden is going to come out of nowhere. So that's my answer.
Keith saying top 10 surprise is the receiver, I believe, is the USC receiver, London.
Drake
Good one.
London,
Drake
good one.
London. Yeah.
That's a good one.
big dude.
Feeling?
Yeah, and I hope the Jets draft this guy, but Treylon Burks from
At Arkansas. wide
Arkansas.
receiver.
Yeah.
Watch Friday. This kid's gonna light it up.
I believe he's the highest rated receiver at the combine. Kurt?
I got two. I'm going to take, I know he's a good prospect, but a lot of people, I see him like from 15 in the 20s is the kid Dean from Georgia. I think, especially if Floyd goes early and somebody needs a linebacker, you could take him. I think the guy, he's a stud. And I'm going to take Matt Corral because I think I don't think he's doing anything right this in the combine, but he'll have his pro day. And when he has his pro day, he'll, he's on his feet, they'll draw something up nice for him. And I think he's going to go higher than remember, if you really look, he don't get injured. He was probably, first or second quarterback in this class. I think he's going to move up.
Kenny?
I got two. I got Trayvon Walker, the lineman from Georgia. Depending on what teams need, he could sneak into the top 10. And Tyler Lindenbaum. And I bring him up because of an offensive lineman that's on Colts, Quentin Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
He shows up and has a good combine. I think he's going to be there. Watch out for this guy sneaking in the top 10 and maybe number 7 with the Giants.
He was the second rated. They at the combine, they rated all the linemen, offensive linemen. They didn't separate tackle, guard, or center. And he was the second rated offensive lineman. Lindenbaum.
Yeah,
it's
a sneaky. It's a sleeper pick for number 7 at Giants. If depending on the way how the draft falls.
I have a guy that I think is be a great pro, that I think might sneak in. Jermaine Johnson, the second from Florida State, that I think he has a great upside. I think this guy is a classic defensive end, edge rusher. And I think I'll tell you, if the Giants had an opportunity to take him, I know offensive lineman we need, but if somehow we could take this guy, I think he would be phenomenal. But that's my sort of sleeper.
We did have, I like that. We all had different people.
Guys, quick question from Steve. Real quick, Paul, just give me 1 second. I'm going to ask you, and then I'll ask Beelan. You guys can both answer this. Steve's saying, with the Jets and Giants quarterback situation, how do you really know how good they are? Both teams have no offensive line. Like in a minute or so, Paul, what's your thoughts on that? And then I'll get Beelan, you with the Jets, but Paul, you with the Giants.
It's absolutely true. I mean, I think between his failure to progress, his injury issues, the offensive line, lack of production from the wide receivers, coaching. I mean, it's a whole hodgepodge of things that has not allowed this guy to possibly improve. I mean, we always keep hearing Jones, he has the physique, he has the tangibles, he has the ability, he has the brain. Hopefully, Dable can bring, and Kafka can bring out what this kid has not been able to do if given the opportunity.
And Beelan, what about you with the Jets when you talk about, Zach Wilson?
Listen, I'm not trying to Jets-Giants things. I think the Jets definitely have a better O-line than the Giants and a lot better than people really think. We're literally like one position away, like a right guard, from having a solid offensive line because we got Beckham back, we have AVT, McGovern in the middle, and Fant on the outside. We just need a guard, and that line's okay, other than that. But the Giants, the thing with the Giants is, now you're stuck with Daniel Jones for his last year. And if he does good, then you're like, what do I do with them? Do I actually sign him for a longer contract or whatever? But I think they're going to be in line to get a quarterback, like probably in the third, fourth round.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. Kyle Hamilton is the highest rated player at the combine by far. Do you agree or disagree, Sis?
I'm going to agree.
Beelan, I saw you shaking your head.
I 100% agree, but he's definitely not. You don't draft a safety in the top 10. I'm sorry, you just don't do it.
Aside from Jamal Adams.
You're not a real good judge of talent, Beelan. We all know that.
No.
Okay, Paul.
They only drafted Jamal Adams, number 6, but,
and look at him.
The Jets are experts, in drafting. Anyway, Kurt.
You know what? Beelan just nailed it. Look at him. I mean, again, like he's probably he's not going to be a bust. Like he'll be, he's going to be who he is. He'll probably be an all-pro safety. He reminds me. I mean, I'm not going to put him. He's probably more highly rated than like Justin Simmons from the Broncos. But you're never going to go like, oh my God, it's Justin Simmons. He's going to do his thing. He'll be an all-pro, but he's not going to be a game changer. So I agree with Beelan. I'm not. I'm not going to take him top 10. I mean, I'm not. I'm not.
Kenny?
I stepped away for a second. What was the question?
About Kyle Hamilton. Do you agree that he should be the top-rated player at the Combine?
Hey, if he's... Again, it's one of those situations. If he's top rated, yes, but the position he plays is going to drop his value down a few spots.
Yeah.
But hey, if he's top rated player and if he's sitting there in the 8, 9, 10 spot and he's the best available by far, the top rated player, you're taking him. I don't care who you are.
Listen,
put him on Denver, Kurt, in that secondary for the next 10 years.
6'4", 220.
Yeah, and the guy covers.
And he's obviously he's
as a Notre Dame fan, the guy covers ground incredibly. I mean, I've seen it. He literally goes from sideline to sideline. I'm not saying he's a Ed Reed type, but the guy is incredible in terms of going from sideline to sideline.
But,
Anyway,
Beelan on your Jets at number 10, if he's sitting there, it's a no-brainer. You're taking
Yeah.
the guy.
I don't know, man. I can't justify taking a safety in the top 10.
Right, but here's the thing, right? Like you're talking about the Jets, Kenny, and this is a perfect example. So he's staying there at number 10, but you also have like the receiver, one of the Ohio State receivers, and you want to get him a weapon.
Garrett Wilson.
Right,
Yeah.
Wilson. How you're going to turn Wilson down and say I'm going to take him? Now you're going to get back to the Jets don't have any weapons, So
But here's why I tell you, yes, this is why I do it, because in the second round, you're going to get somebody like over in Alabama, Mr. Mechie's going to be there sitting there in the second round.
Yeah.
And he's coming off an injury, and he's going to be a sleeper just like Jameson Williams. Two teams are going to get really good receivers late in the first round or even second round because these guys were hurt last year.
Yeah.
So you got to keep that in mind too. Are you going to get a safety at Kyle Hamilton's caliber in the second and third round? Probably not. Are you going to see this type of caliber next year? Maybe not. This could be one of those every 5-year talents at a position.
And just looking at the ratings, his rating at safety is so far beyond any other safety compared to any other position in the draft, where the offensive linemen, for example, are very close. The defensive edges are very close, but this guy's talent above any other safety might warrant a top 10 pick, depending on who the team is. Oh, all right. So in your best Roger Goodell voice, and I'm going to go in order of the draft at this moment. I'm going to start with Beelan, then I'm going to go with Sis, then I'm going to go with Kenny, Kurt, and then Beelan again. So Beelan, I want you in your best Roger Goodell voice say, with the 4th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select.
With the 4th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Treylon Burks.
Okay.
Arkansas.
All
right, Sis.
That was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
With the
Should I boo this time?
Yeah.
Let me boo now.
Boo for Roger Goodell.
Yeah. Sis.
Yeah, with the 4th pick.
No, now with
draft.
the 5th pick, the
You got
Giants.
Oh, I'm Giants. I'm sorry.
With the 5th pick of the
With
NFL,
5th pick in the NFL
2022.
draft, I, as Roger Goodell, making $40 million a year, am a waste. Okay. And I think this pick is going to be a very difficult pick to make. So I'm not going to really give you my pick on this. I'm going to keep it to myself.
Yeah.
That's right.
Minutes are up already.
It's my show, and I do what I want to do. Right.
All right, moving on.
Thank you.
With the
I know I'm a pain in the butt. I get it.
I love you, sis.
I love
Kenny,
you
with
more,
the 7th pick, who are you picking?
We're having a 6.
Well, I'm just going.
We're doing our mock draft after this.
With our
Take it easy, Beelan. Go have a soda. Take it easy, man. Really.
With our teams.
All right. So with the 7th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Football Giants select out of Notre Dame safety Kyle Hamilton.
Wow, that's crazy.
Do you expect that to have booze or
Booze.
Let me tell you
I
something.
did it for Paul, sis. This ain't the mock draft. I did that for Paul.
I know
He's
you
the Notre
teasing.
Dame
Yeah,
guy.
that'll never happen.
If we're doing a mock draft, I was just wanted to do that for Paul.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
All right, Kurt, you're up.
All right, I got number 9.
Yes.
We have a trade.
I know where he's going.
We have a trade. All right, I'll pick this one.
Wait, are the Packers selecting here or the
Right. Hopefully the Packers.
Well, here's
or
Kurt.
Seattle.
Here's Kurt with the info.
If we had to do it though, I would say with the 9th pick in the 2022 draft, the Denver Broncos select Devin Lloyd, linebacker, Utah. You like it, Beelan?
I love it.
I love it.
Good pick.
Coach Breslin saying safety. Come on, Kenny. Sis will go nuts if the Giants do that.
I know. I did that for Paul, Coach. Did that for Paul. He's the Notre Dame guy. We got a mock draft coming up in a minute. We got top five.
All right.
Top five.
All right.
Coming up.
Last one. Phelan, you're up with the number 10 pick.
With the number 10 pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select.
Oh, New York Jets.
I'm sorry, the New York Jets select.
You want to give them us for nothing? We'll take it, Felix.
We'll take it. We'll take another pick.
The New York Jets select Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati.
There you
Whoa.
go.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I like it.
All right.
By the way, hey, Keith has a great comment. He's saying, did Sis just let the time run out on the clock without making a pick? Go run up the
Exactly.
card. Run the cards up.
He pulled the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
Again,
right,
it's my show. I do what I want.
That's my session, guys. Thanks.
Good
Okay.
job, Paul. Let's do a quick mock draft, Kurt.
Let me ask this question. Does everybody know what Rodizio is when you go to the restaurant?
Yeah.
Doesn't Beelan look like the waiter that would come over and say, would you like more sausage, sir? Would you like roast beef, sir? Can I give you another salad, sir? Sir.
This is in a very good mood tonight.
Yes, he is.
Yep.
Good.
All right, Kurt. So let's do a quick little mock draft. We'll do the drafting till the end of April. So I figured let's do 5 picks a week.
Okay.
And by the time the draft comes up, we should be just about there with the draft.
Beelan's gonna love my pick.
So I got our draft order is I will be picking for the Jaguars, number 1. Paul's going to pick for our good buddy Carson Shear's Detroit Lions at number 2. Mr. Beelan gets the Houston Texans at 3. We're not getting our own teams. That's we're picking. That's why I did that. Mr. Siciliano gets the pick for the Jets.
The number one pick you told me, correct?
1 pick. So you got the Jets at number 4. Their first pick. Yeah.
1 pick at
One
number
pick.
4 for the Jets.
Yes.
Okay.
And Kurt, you're picking number 5 for the Giants.
Okay.
So I'm going to go up first, and I look at it this way. The Jaguars are on the clock, right? The Jaguars, what do they need? They need a lot. But last year, they drafted, and what Kurt said would be franchise quarterback, top quarterback. 3 years, they're going to be
generational quarterback.
Generational quarterback. You said a lot of things about him.
Yep.
So what? Aiden Hutchinson's there, right? Kayvon Thibodeau's there, right? Nope. You got to protect that generational talent. You got to protect that franchise quarterback and build that offensive line on his blind side. And you're going to take, with the first pick in this mock draft, Evan Neal, offensive tackle out of Alabama.
Okay.
Good pick.
Guys,
Detroit
Dan Worley,
Lions
real
are on the
quick,
clock.
Kenny, real quick. Dan Worley saying, what's up, guys?
Hey, Dan, what's up? Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow evening, my friend.
Yep.
Mr. Rosen, you're on the clock with the Detroit Lions.
All right. Well, like the Jaguars, the Lions also have many, many holes. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Just got a phone call. Hello? You proposing what?
Trades
What?
in.
Wait. Let me think about it, but maybe not. Okay. Thanks. Goodbye. That was Matt Rule. He heard many teams were interested in that number 2 pick, looking to try and trade up for a quarterback. But he was offering me a dirty water dog and a hard pretzel. I said no. So with the second pick of the 2022 NFL draft, I want a guy that's a knee biter, and I'm going to take Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end from the University of Michigan.
I think Carson would approve, even though he's a Michigan State
Smart
fan.
move, yeah.
Even though he's a Michigan State guy, I think he'll learn
Right.
to like Aiden Hutchinson.
Absolutely.
Mr. Beelan, you are picking for the Houston Texans.
Go unorthodox here. With the 3rd pick in the draft, the Houston Texans select Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State.
Abs. Is this an abs moment here, Kurt?
Wow.
Listen, Deshaun Watson might come back. He has absolutely no wide receivers.
Hey, I'm ecstatic if they take Garrett Wilson at number 3.
If he comes
that's
back,
going to
that would be phenomenal for the Giants if that happened.
So,
all right, I'm writing these down so we can put a ticker up next week, Kurt, of the first 5 picks.
Okay.
Garrett Wilson, number 3. Mr. Siciliano, you have the honor of picking for the other New York team, the New York Jets.
At number 4, from LSU, because they need him, Derek Stingley.
I like that.
So do I.
And Mr. Valenti, I've been waiting for this. I know Paul's waiting for this, and Sis is waiting for this. Who are you picking for our New York Giants?
This is so tough.
You better get this right. You better get this
right.
I'll say this.
I know who I want.
You know what? You know what? Listen, it's so. I mean, you're so tempted and said, I need a tackle. I got to fix the offensive line. But when the best player in the draft is available, you run up and take Kayvon Thibodeau, give him the ticket, and say, let's go.
Yeah.
You're taking
that's not, yeah, I agree with him there. That's not a bad move. Not at all.
That's not bad. I'm okay either way. I'm okay. Offensive line or edge rusher there. And if Thibodeau, who's arguably the top rated one, is sitting there at 5, I like it. You pass.
You got to take him at 5 because if Carolina goes to a quarterback right at the next pick, then you get the kid
then you get the lineman anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, so there's our top 5 mock draft picks. That was nice and fast. I wanted to do that quickly.
Okay.
Kurt, you have something ready for us.
Yeah, I have a quick topic, and I mean, obviously we're all following this Aaron Rodgers thing, and he was on.
Can I cut you off real quick?
Go ahead. You have 30 seconds because it's my segment, but go ahead.
I went to the store today, and I legitly bought a drug test for you because our Texas today was mind-boggling. So this is for you. It's gonna be in your mailbox tomorrow.
Send it to 93. Send it to 93. Thank you for that. By the way, but you know what? Getting into that. I want to say it was Mike Tannenbaum today. Says you watch all the shows in the morning, right? I'm not sure he's on one of those Get Ups or whatever. And
he's on Get Up. Okay.
He was on Get Up, and he said Aaron Rodgers is quote unquote, what's the word? Greedy, right? So
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He did, right? So we're gonna talk football and NBA. But my question is, because the whole thing is they're saying he wants $50 million a year. But I guess my topic is, are these general managers, and I'm not gonna count baseball because baseball there's no cap. I'm gonna count football and basketball, 2 of the biggest cap sports where it really matters, right? Are these GMs responsible for somebody like Aaron Rodgers saying I should get $50 million? And here's what I mean. I'll go through football and basketball real quick. In my opinion, you guys could have different opinions, but Aaron Rodgers is easily, we're going to take Brady out because he's not playing. So Rodgers and Mahomes, however you want to look at it, in my opinion, is the first and second best quarterbacks in the NFL, right? So how can a guy have 5 quarterbacks making more money over him when you are probably the best or the second best? You look at the NBA. And I am not a LeBron James fan by any means of the imagination. But is he or Kevin Durant the best player in the NBA? Yeah. They're 5th and 6th in salary? Like, whose fault is this? How do you blame Aaron Rodgers or Kevin Durant or LeBron James when you're on top of the game, right? Like, you're the man. You should be paid 1. Is it the general manager that's paying Josh Allen $43 million a year? Dak Prescott, $40 million? Deshaun Watson, 39. These guys, and it started with Kirk Cousins getting 33 and Wentz getting 32 and Goff getting 33. It started in the NBA when you got people like Siakam making, $33 million. John Wall, $44 million. Russell Westbrook, $44 million. Like, how do you pay somebody more? How does a general manager pay anybody more than LeBron James or Kevin Durant? How do they pay anybody more than Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers? Kenny, how do they do it? And is it their fault that, you know what? Listen, if I'm the principal, if I'm the superintendent of the school, I get paid first. You don't pay a teacher more. So if you're Aaron Rodgers, you're going to pay Dak Prescott and Deshaun Watson, total of one player win more? How? Explain that, Kenny.
Desperation. Desperate teams.
But I'm saying, but how do you blame the best player? Oh, he's greedy. I'm blaming the general managers who are paying these guys that are. Aaron Rodgers is 20 times better than Dak Prescott. How are you paying him more, Kenny? Shouldn't Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, should get 60 because he's way better than those guys.
Well, you got to blame your agents. Your agents. I'm your agent, Kurt, and you're better than Beelan, stat wise and talent wise. Let's just say, but Beelan. You sign elsewhere. Now I need the second best player who's Beelan. So you know what? How am I going to get Beelan to come over to play for me? I got to give him more money than you. And that's how it works.
But what I'm saying is it's these general managers, right? Sis, I'm just going to throw some names out at you. NBA, right? I'm just going to throw some names out. What's his name? The center from Utah. What's his name?
Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, right.
Right.
He's making $35 million a year. For what? He makes more money than, say, a Bradley Beal. He makes more money than a Devin Booker. Ben Simmons, who won't even shoot in a game, is the 20th player in the NBA making money. D'Angelo Russell, $30 million. Like, if I'm LeBron James and Kevin Durant, I'm sorry, if I'm Kevin Durant, once they go and say John Wall's making 44, I want 50. You're better than him. You're better than him.
You got to look at it this way too, especially with football. If you pay Aaron Rodgers $50 million a year, okay, you're gonna have no cap for the rest of your team. And then you look at his previous thing. We've texted about this, okay? He hasn't done anything. He hasn't won since 2011. Who cares if you're the best talent in the league? Like, you're not showing anything for it. So the reason why these other guys are getting paid is because, one, it's like Mahomes got paid because he won a championship and he's young and he's going to be ecstatic for the next 10 years. Josh Allen's like right there. He's on the cusp of it. So, yeah, I mean, there's other people who are like Matt Ryan. He's not worth it, but.
But I guess here's my question. And I'll start with Sis. Sis, is the player like, say, Rodgers or LeBron or Durant, are those players greedy or are the general managers dumb for paying the other people more money? That's my question.
I think it's a great question. But again, when it comes to these players, my own opinion, it's pure greed. Because, again, if Aaron Rodgers is offered 50 for the next 3 years, okay, for example, $50 million, why is he going to go to Denver?
Right, but my point is, how does he not ask for 50 when you're paying somebody like Dak 40 and Josh Allen 43? He's better than both of those guys.
It's a great point. And again, my opinion, it's between, the general managers, the fans buying into it, paying for, all these tickets. So it's a combination of both, I guess, is what I'm telling you.
But the funniest thing, and I'll get to Paul and Kenny, the funniest thing is like you pay these guys, right? And then they go and say, well, look, we got John Wall. Let's give him $44 million. Then all of a sudden the team's like, we got a John Wall stinks. Get rid of him. Russell Westbrook. Yeah. Oh, my God. We got Russ. Yeah. Let's give him 44. Now it's like they're trying to give him away. It's going to be the same thing in the NFL. Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, Kurt Wentz. It's going to be like that with Dak and Watson. It's after
the fact.
Can I respond?
Yeah, Paul.
Kurt?
Yes.
Yeah. First of all, this isn't anything new, okay? We've all followed sports for, 30, 40, 50 years, whatever it's been. It's all supply and demand, okay? It comes down to that business model of what am I producing and is it worth the the demand for whether it's football, baseball, or any job that you do. If I'm doing a job, if they're willing to pay me what I'm asking,
Right.
then hey, you know what? That's on the general manager. And here's the thing, in a specialized field like football, if general manager A isn't willing to pay it and team A isn't willing to pay it, well, team B is going to willing to pay it, because I'm afraid if I don't sign that player, whether it's Aaron Rodgers, whether it's LeBron, whoever, another team is going to pay that person.
Right.
Okay. In terms of the most money, obviously it depends on the timing of everything, because if Aaron Rodgers signs a deal, a 4-year deal, and then right after him comes Russell Wilson, comes Dak Prescott, comes Josh Allen, Mahomes, and they're all signing right after him, then it becomes, okay, now you're setting the foundation and it's never going to end. Should a guy like Rodgers make the most money? Without question, 4-time MVP. I disagree with Beelan because Dak Prescott hasn't won a damn thing. So regardless, still, Rodgers has the pedigree compared to some Dak Prescott. So I do disagree with you, Beelan, on that. But again, it comes down to the supply and demand. If he's a free agent, you don't think people are going to be lining up to get him?
Right.
Absolutely.
But what I'm saying, go ahead, sis.
Real quick, big guy. You got these guys making more money. Let's get away from sports for a second. You got these guys making more money than other people in their fields, heart specialists, cardiologists,
the president.
The president of the United States.
Right.
So I mean, so where are we going with this? I mean, where does it end? Look what's going on with baseball. It's the same stuff.
But what I'm saying though, sis, is like, I'm sorry, like if I feel, not even if I feel, if I just know I'm better than you, okay, like Aaron Rodgers is just like
above,
right? It should just be and again, it's where smart teams, right? Like you look, the New England Patriots are not doing this. They just are not doing this because they're gonna look and go and say, like I remember with Wes Welker, well, I got to get my money. No, you know why? You go to Denver, I'll get Amendola. You leave, I'll get Edelman. Right. That's because that's what a good organization does. Like, and it hurts, right? Like now, all of a sudden, John Wall. Listen, John Wall was a great player, Russell Westbrook, but they're not good now because they're making $44 million, and it's a atrocious contract that nobody wants, right? It's not that they're not good, and what's going to happen is the Lakers are stuck, just like the Vikings are stuck. Just like the Rams were stuck and they had to get rid of him. Dallas is going to be stuck. All these teams are going to be stuck with these terrible contracts now. But I'm not blaming Rodgers, Russell Wilson. Those guys should be 1, 2, and 3. So anytime, if you give Josh Allen 43, give me 50 because I should be higher than him. That's just the way it should be. That's what it should be. The players are not greedy. They're not greedy.
Here's a quick question for you, Mr. Valenti.
Yes.
Baseball guy. They want to give you $130 million, and you're saying no. I mean, like, are you kidding me?
No, I agree. I agree with you. The player's not going to stay, but I'm saying that contract should never be offered to those players. Like
exactly.
They should never be offered. There's really, we talk about elite quarterbacks. It's really Mahomes, Wilson, Rodgers. I mean, I'll put, those are the 3. Besides that, nobody should be near 40 million.
Allen.
Right, and Josh Allen.
I look at it this way. And you know me, I'm not a Dak Prescott fan at all. But I kind of disagree a little bit. Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, hell of a regular season quarterback. But he's been, and all joking aside, the weakest division in football for the last 5 years.
Okay.
Playing the Lions twice a week, playing the Bears twice a year, playing the Vikings twice a year. But here's my point I'm trying to make. $50 million for Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott $40 million. You can say Dak Prescott ain't worth $40 million, but I'm saying Aaron Rodgers ain't worth $50 million. Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, has only won 1 Super Bowl and how many playoff games in the last 10 years? And he is not 10 times better than Dak Prescott, in my opinion. because he's making 10 more million than Dak
Well,
Prescott.
I'll tell
So
you
it's
this.
10
Well,
times
see,
more
here's
than
the
that.
problem. Do I
100%.
agree? Real quick, Kenny, I agree with you. I don't think he should be worth 50, but if you're giving Dak 40, he's worth 60 because he's 20 times better the quarterback. That's what I'm saying. Nobody deserves that money.
Nobody deserves that
Dak is
amount of
really
money.
like a $20 million quarterback tops.
And to end my conversation, I 1,000,000% agree with Sis. It's selfishness out of the players, because if you are a team player, 30, 40, 50 million, there ain't much of a difference. You can live life on $30 million a year.
Right.
All of us ain't seeing 30 million combined in our lifetime.
A year, right.
You know, we ain't seeing 30 million in our lifetime combined, you know, and our families combined, you know. So 30 million a year to get that salary cap down and win me a bring me a team that's going to win a Super Bowl. So you can have, and you know, I know we talk about it every week, you can have your Aaron Rodgers making 50 million, because what's going on in KC now? You're not seeing the Kansas City Chiefs win Super Bowls anymore, are you? When was the last time they won a Super Bowl?
Right.
A couple years ago, right? Teams are catching up to them. So
Kurt, you mentioned New England. That's what Brady always did. He put that discount in order to get players.
I get you on Aaron Rodgers, and you know what? You get him, you're going to be better. Do I think you're going to win a Super Bowl? We'll see. But you're going to be better, in my opinion, but it's going to hurt because you're not going to have the surrounding pieces that you think you're going to have. If he's making 50 million, that's a lot of money.
I guess again, the conversation that I started with Sis is, you know, and I'll ask you guys one more time. Beelan, is this issue more of a greedy player, or is this more of a dumb GM giving other people the salary?
Greedy player. It's a team game, man.
Kenny.
I think it's more of a greedy player agent. It depends on your agent too. Your agent's going to say, oh, we can get this much, and they feed stuff in players' heads. We're going to get you the most money. Greed.
Paul?
I disagree. I think it's the GM.
Me too. I'm with you.
Yeah, listen, if you were, you know, you're working in a job and you're trying to make as much money to support your family, are you going to feel as if I shouldn't try and get more money for myself?
Paul, to kick you back on this one, would you take more money to go to a shittier job?
Do that?
Would you if you're making 100,000 and someone says I'm going to offer you 125,000, but the job is, the work environment's terrible and you're going to be miserable for the next 2 years, is that 25,000 worth it? And that's the problem with players, is like, you're paying these guys a little bit extra. It's like, at the end of the day, does Matt Ryan really care that his Falcons are terrible every year? No, the guys
no.
Making $40 million.
Right. And then what happens?
But
what happens, Beal? And you get your James Hardens and Ben Simmons, who don't like where they're playing. So I don't want to play anymore.
Let me get out.
I'm going to get out.
Right, but see, here's my point. This is where I agree with Paul. Jimmy Garoppolo could turn around and say, all right, I'm a free agent this year. I need $48 million. I'd say to him, go over there. You ain't getting it from me. You ain't getting it from me.
Exactly.
So that's the dumb general manager. If somebody gave him anywhere near 40, they're nuts.
Yeah, but they wouldn't, though. That's never going to happen. We know that.
They gave him 30. But I mean, right? They gave him 30.
Yeah, but again, he brought you to 2 NFC championship games. Like,
so wait, I'm putting Kurt on the spot.
He was almost
I know
at
we're
2
going to finish
Super
this
Bowls.
topic up. I got to put Kurt on the spot right now. You
Yes.
said no quarterback in all our opinions. I would say no quarterback's worth 50 million. Let's say, right? So if Denver takes Aaron Rodgers at 50 million, George Payton is a dumb GM.
No, because listen to me. Honestly, me personally, I'm paying a quarterback should make like Mahomes, Rodgers. Those guys should be making 30 million. They're only making more money.
Right? I get what you're saying.
Because they're making the money because they gave Goff 33 million and Cousins 33 million. So how you can't
make less than that.
You can't less. You're not even in the ballpark with those guys.
I get it, but Kurt, if you use
that's
Kirk
my
Cousins,
point.
If you use Cousins, for example, okay, even if I don't know how you want to compare it. If you want to look at stats and then playoffs and whatever you want to go and do, Kirk Cousins was not a bad quarterback since he's got his contract. He's a top 10 quarterback at least every single year in the NFL. Every single year.
He's a top 10 quarterback now in the NFL?
No
look
way. No
look at
way.
his stats.
He's
Look
not
at
a
his
top
I don't
10
care about
quarterback.
stats. What he doesn't win. Well, let me ask you, John. The
And
Vikings.
Garoppolo doesn't
Hold on.
care
Hold on.
that
Last
much
thing.
stats.
Last thing.
You can't say that,
Well,
Kurt.
but wait. The Minnesota Vikings were in the NFC Championship game with Case Keenum. Okay, let's bring Cousins in. They didn't sniff it.
Right.
So there's your proof. Same team.
I get.
Exactly.
I'm with you. But it's
gotta be with me. That's the
okay,
reality.
Okay. Then Josh Allen's not worth $40 million because he was sniffing 2 times in an NFL championship and he lost the game.
Josh Allen he already got
So he's not worth it.
further. He has more
he's not
playoff
worth
wins
it.
than Kirk Cousins in 2 years
He's
than his
not
career.
worth it. It's the same position. He's not worth it. He's not worth it.
All right,
Can
where's
I
Sis?
segue into my segment? Because this is
Yes.
perfect.
Yes. Real quick, let me
Go
read a
ahead.
comment. I wish Sis was here because it's from our good friend Casey Collinari. It's a free market. This is capitalism at best. If someone's willing to pay 70, so be it. That's dumb general
Didn't I
manager.
say that?
It's true.
Dumb general
but-
manager.
Blind demand.
But,
We
but,
talk
that, but,
about-
that, but that team won't win.
We talk about dumb GMs. This has to do with Briggsy Bronco Mania. So instead of wrestling, we're going to do the Briggsy part tonight. Briggsy
Okay.
used to like to do a segment back in the day on NFL ticket prices, average ticket prices. So I got the top 10 most expensive, and I got the top 10 least expensive.
Okay.
We're going to start with the most. We're going to play a little game. You get 1 strike. If you get it wrong, you're out of the game. We'll see who can get the most right out of the top 10 most expensive. Average price. So it's not the highest price, not the lowest price. Average price it's going to cost you to go to a game. And this is going to factor into why these players are making the money they're making and why GMs are paying these players the money because of these ticket prices right here. You figure 50,000 seat stadium at these average prices, and you're going to see why. So for the most expensive, Sis stepped away. I'll go Kurt, Paul, Beelan. For least expensive, I will turn things around. If you get one in the least expensive, I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to say wrong on the most expensive.
Okay.
So we'll start with Kurt. Top 10. Give me one team in the top 10 for most expensive ticket price.
This is NFL.
NFL.
Cowboys.
No, they are not on there, surprisingly.
Wow.
I'm going to give you, I'll give you 3 strikes since you're out
All
already.
right.
Well, Paul's going to go next.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'll give Paul a shot.
I will say the Rams.
Rams are not in there neither.
Not really. Wow.
Beelan, try and get on the board.
Trying to think.
Some are obvious. Some are really surprising.
Oh, actually, I think I kind of know this. The Patriots.
Patriots are number 3, $131 an average ticket for 1 ticket. And Sis is back. Sis, we're playing a short little game.
Yeah, I got a cramp in my hamstring. Sorry.
Sis, by the way, while you were leaving, Casey commented. Our good friend Casey.
Casey who?
Collinari.
I don't even know who he is.
Oh, stop.
No, I'm joking. How you doing, Case? Good to hear from you.
Sis, so we're doing the top 10 most expensive places.
Did you
to
hear
watch.
I said I got a cramp in my calf? Don't you even give a shit about that? Go ahead,
You're up.
He
Kenny.
don't care.
You're up,
He
Kurt.
don't care, sis.
Kurt,
I'm
you're up.
Keezy. Kenny, I'm Keezy. Go ahead.
I know you are. And I know. You want to go? You want to play along? We're
What's
playing
the top?
most
Most
expensive
expensive.
places to watch an NFL game last year.
Oh,
Patriots
yeah.
are number 3, $131 a ticket on the average.
Wow. That's
So I got
crazy.
you're up. The Cowboys were not on the list, and the Rams were not on the list.
Rams and the Cowboys weren't on the list. I'm going to say San Francisco 49ers.
Very good. Number 2, $138 on the average to watch a game there for
That's
one ticket.
insane. I wouldn't pay
San Fran, it
130.
makes sense.
I wouldn't pay 132 cents. But
By the way, sis, Casey saying, love you, sis. Walk it off. Walk off. White. Walk it off. F the cramp.
tell
He's there. You
Casey,
go. There you
tell
go.
Casey if he still wants to run sprints, we're never too old for that. See Coach Sis after practice.
You're up. Some of
That's
these are
good.
obvious. Some are long shots. Like I would never
Okay.
think some of these teams are on there. So give me another one, Kurt.
I have another one, but I'll go after Curry. I'm
Green
just
Bay?
curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, Green Bay is up there, number 4, $128. They got to pay Aaron Rodgers somehow.
Wow,
right?
really?
No, $128 to watch a
Are
Green Bay.
the Jets and Giants up there?
The Giants
No
are up
way.
there. Giants are up there, $115,
Yeah, man.
but the Jets
The
aren't.
Jets ain't. The Jets ain't. No way.
I'm going to
the
see if
Jets
somebody
ain't.
can get number 1. Then I want to go to least expensive.
You-
Think
you-
about
you
number
got-
1, Paul.
Wait,
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
wait. Who are some of the new stadiums?
That's what I'm saying. Think
The
about it.
Rams, right? San Fran.
The Rams aren't up. I guessed it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Rams, San Fran. Who else got a new stadium? Well, Jets and Giants, though.
There's one really obvious
Oh,
one, fellas.
Vegas.
Oh,
Vegas.
Vegas. Yeah.
$153 a ticket to watch a game there on the average.
Wow, it's a lot of money.
Couple of
Tax-free.
long shots. I'm going to give you these long shot ones. The Eagles, 127.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Bears, 122.
Oof.
Chicago.
Wow.
Bears. The Texans are charging $118 on the average for a ticket.
They have some nerve.
You got the Seahawks at 117. And
Texans should let you in for free, but
Yeah.
really.
Casey's saying the
They should
Steelers.
pay you.
Casey just nailed it. The Steelers were number 10. Let's go to least expensive. I'll start with Beelan. There's going to be some surprise teams on here too. It's not necessarily the bad teams in this.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. Hold on. Look, give me a second. I'm gonna stay away from bad.
your
teams.
your team is right up there. But go
Yeah.
ahead.
I mean, the obvious is definitely going to be like the Lions and Jaguars.
Give me one. So I want to go around the table until somebody gets.
Hold
If you
on.
get until you.
I'll tell you one.
Jets.
Give me one, Paul.
How
The
Buffalo?
Bucks.
Buffalo.
The Bucks.
Paul said the Bucks. The Bucks are $89 an average ticket.
Mary Lenny saying the Lions.
The Lions,
Mary
Yeah,
knows
it's
her
pretty,
stuff.
pretty
Yeah.
obvious.
$91 average. The Buffalo Bills are number 1. Average price
Yeah,
$75.
The,
for a ticket.
the stadiums
Wow.
poop. I'm thinking of stadiums, like bad stadiums.
Luby's saying the Giants.
The Giants were on the most expensive, 115.
115.
I was funny.
There's some good ones on here. Not necessarily the bad teams, guys. See if you can think of some of these.
Chargers?
Ravens.
Chargers, surprisingly, number 2, $78.
Well, they don't
Ravens.
even have
How about-
fans in the stadium.
How about the Browns? The Browns?
Yes, the Browns are $82 a ticket.
How about the Ravens?
Cardinals?
How about the
Cardinals,
Ravens?
Cardinals
Ravens?
85.
Good one,
Ravens?
sis.
Ravens were just off the board. They were
Oh.
around 100 a ticket.
Oh, okay.
Who else in AFC?
We got 4 teams left, 2 playoff teams and 2 not so.
Bengals.
Bengals, $79.
Titans. Mary's also saying the Titans.
She's on it, $92.
The
Those are the
Titans.
playoff teams.
That girl knows her sports.
And 2 teams that weren't in the playoff teams, warm weather teams.
The Bucks.
Paul said the Bucks. You're on the
Miami.
right ballpark. Miami.
Miami.
Yep, $84.
Oh, the Chargers.
Nope, the Jaguars were $80.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a little Briggsy thing. He used to always like to do the
So
ticket
obvious.
prices. So I figured I'd throw that in there. The Buffalo Bills, Chargers, all these playoff teams like Cardinals, $85 for a ticket. Buccaneers, $89 for a Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
And that's the average. That's not the cheapest ticket. That's
Right.
average from the highest to the lowest.
That's why you get so many Giant fans that come down when they play down here, because it's cheaper to see a Giants Bucks game down here than up in New York.
Does anybody have a
Kenny,
short?
wait a minute, Kenny. I got to read this comment from Mary, sis. You ready? She said, ha, I pay a lot for my Steeler tickets, home of the real TB12, meaning Mr. Bradshaw, number 12.
That's good. I like that. Does anybody have a quick 10-minute segment to end the show, or we want to just?
Can I do a would you rather?
Yeah, let's do that. You down for that, guys?
Yeah.
Last 10 minutes of the show. All right.
All right.
Not me. I want no part of that. Absolutely.
You are up first. You're in the
The batter's
I'm not in,
Real-
if I'm up first, I'm not in the on deck circle.
Wait,
Would
real
you rather
quick.
have a Charlie horse or a cramp?
Keith
Who would
is
you rather have it massaged by, Kurt or Kenny?
Beelan, you're so lucky you're on the other side of this computer tonight, my friend.
All right,
Okay.
sis, would you rather listen to the Beatles or the Rolling Stones?
That's not even close. The Rolling Stones. I saw them.
Okay.
Excuse me. I saw them in concert. They were unbelievable. Yeah.
All right.
Saw them 6 months ago, right? Mick Jagger's still playing.
You saw them?
No, I said I said you probably saw him 6 months ago.
No,
He's still
I didn't.
doing concerts.
Let me tell you something. You're laughing. I seen them in their prime in 1973 at the Garden. Between
we were none of us were even
Oh,
born
before
yet.
we were born.
which is fine. But let me tell you something. Between them and Elton John, best concerts I've ever seen in my life. I was blessed. But go ahead.
All right. Donna Summer or Diana Ross?
No, that's not even close. Donna Summer.
Bee Gees or Temptations?
Temptations.
Oh, I thought he would have said Bee Gees.
That's what I thought too. Staying Alive or Ain't Too Proud to Beg?
Say it again.
Staying Alive or Ain't Too Proud to Beg?
Ain't too proud to beg. Staying
All right.
alive. That's
This-
for
this question-
fruitcakes.
all right.
Okay.
This question I'm going to ask
Staying
and
alive.
Kenny before you answer this. Okay.
Okay.
If you could pick one of the village people that Sis would dress up as, which one would it be?
I don't
Police
even know
officer?
any of the village
The
people.
cop guy. The cop guy.
The cop.
The police officer,
I
the
guess the
cons-
cop guy,
the
yeah.
construction worker,
Oh, wait.
the soldier, chief, the biker, or the cowboy?
The
Kurt.
biker.
I'd like to see
Kurt.
Sis in the bike outfit. Yeah. Yeah.
Beelan, what would you say?
No, the cop. Like, come on.
No? All
All
right.
right, sis, you're up. What would you be?
What would you pick?
Let me tell you something. I'm not even getting involved in this.
You got to answer.
That is my answer. I'm not
Come
getting
on.
involved.
The Indian.
Come on.
He's the Indian.
Come on, sis.
I gotta.
All joking aside, I was the
would you rather.
construction worker on a cruise talent show.
I would say the construction worker.
Hey.
Because he
All right.
was the only one that wasn't gay.
Hey, sis,
The
real quick.
rest of them were gay.
Paul, let me hop in real quick. Sis, would you rather have icy hot or tiger bomb?
I'll
Keith,
tell you
hey, by the
truth.
way, Keith is saying cowboy up, Sis.
What
All right.
works better, Beelan, is Tiger Bomb, if you ever used it.
All right. Kurt, you're up next. All right. Aaron Rodgers resigns with the Packers. Would you rather the Broncos trade 3 first-round picks to Seattle for Russell Wilson or trade 2 second-round picks to Jimmy Garoppolo?
Oh my God. I'm driving to Seattle with an umbrella. I'm going to get Russell Wilson. Jimmy Garoppolo, get out of here.
All right. Second question. Would you rather eat Jenny Hoop's food for a month or eat crumb cake for dessert every night for 2 weeks and make her angry and upset?
Jenny Hoops is food for a month.
He's lying. He's lying now.
No.
I know he's lying now. Yep.
All right.
He knows she's watching.
She's not watching.
Would you rather make 4 trips and take 8 hours to go to a phone store to purchase a new phone, or do a 12-day Aaron Rodgers, I think it's called Panchakarma cleanse of unwanted waste consisting of therapeutic vomiting?
I'll stop you
and
right there.
enemas?
I'll take
Get Kurt
listen.
involved in
I'll
that.
take
Yeah.
6 months going for the phone. There's no shot of doing that.
Kurt
cleanse.
involved in a cleanse.
None.
All right.
Sis,
All right.
before we go, sis, talking about cleanse, you got to tell the story when Paul's done about the soup when you made.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Let-
That
ahead,
was a
Paul.
cleanse, yeah.
Last question, Kurt. All right. Aaron Rodgers doesn't resign and demands to be traded to the Broncos immediately. He calls the Broncos' biggest fan, Kurt Valente, and says he needs to have a sign of solidarity from him in order to finalize the trade. He needs Kurt to do a 12-day cleanse every 3 months, or he will not come to Denver. Guys, Kenny, does he do the cleanse?
No. No, he'll have Jimmy Garoppolo as his quarterback in Bridgewater.
Sis?
Bridgewater fighting for the job.
He not only does the cleanse, he empties his bank account out and gives it to Aaron Rodgers.
Feeling.
I'm with Sis.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
He's going to give up Bella too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Even Jen might be thrown in that deal. Whatever it takes. He doesn't play favorites.
Oh,
yep.
man. All right, Feeling. Would you rather
Oh God.
win back-to-back World Series, but the Yankees sign Freddie Freeman, or finish below 500 for the next 3 years, but Freddie Freeman signs with the Braves for the rest of his career?
Nah, I'm taking the World Series.
Good job, Beelan. Good job.
Good. Charles Oakley said the Greek Freak would have been a bench player in his time. Do you agree or disagree?
Disagree.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Disagree.
I think he could. I think he's one of the players that could have played in the 90s. I think he fits that mold. I think he'd be all right.
Yeah, I think Charles was being Charles there.
Yeah.
All right, Beelan, would you rather the Jets keep the 10th pick or trade down for more draft capital to help Zach Wilson improve as quarterback?
It depends on who's there, but ideally I'd like them to stick at 10 and draft.
Okay. Kenny, since Derek Jeter is no longer owner of the Marlins, would you rather he become a part owner of the Yankees, become a broadcaster for the Yankees, or manage the Yankees?
Part owner of the Yankees.
Hey. Would you rather be at Coach K's final home game at Duke or at the NCAA basketball championship game?
NCAA basketball championship game. I'm not a Duke fan.
What do you guys think, Kurt?
I would be in Duke. That place is going to be nuts.
Yeah. Sis?
Yeah, I'm with Kurt. I'd be in Duke.
Yeah. How about you, Beelan?
Duke.
Yeah, I agree. I think so too. Kenny, for one playoff game, would you rather have Eli or Phil Simms as your quarterback?
Ooh, that's tough. I'll go Eli. I'll go Eli.
Okay. Would you rather have Phil Simms' performance in Super Bowl, Super Bowl 20,
I know.
22 out of 25, 268, 3 TDs, 88% completion, 150 rating, or Walt Frazier's Game 7 against the Lakers in 1970, 36 points, 19 assists?
Walt Frazier, because I want to see the Knicks win a championship, so I'll take that performance. If it's a Game 7, I'm taking the Knicks.
Okay. That's it. Thank you, guys.
That was good. That was awesome. Real quick, does anybody know how much the cheapest tickets in Duke are going for?
$3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3,000, and
Wow.
the most expensive 75.
And it's
I saw that.
standing. And it's standing.
Yeah.
Alabama's basketball team got housed.
Got housed tonight.
Oof.
All right, here's my last question for you right now. Okay, this was my last one, and then Kenny, we could wrap it up. But I'll start with Paul. Are you going to watch the Duke Carolina game at all Saturday night?
I'm going to.
All right.
Yeah.
Will you stand up and give a clap during that game when they introduce him for the final time?
I may not stand up, but I certainly will applaud and appreciate what his career has been.
Mr. Sis, you watching the game Saturday night?
Yep, I'm going to stand on my hand and do about 10 push-ups, then do a backflip.
You
Do
won't
10
clap
more.
for Coach K, Sis?
No, then do 10 more push-ups on my back, and then get up and And I'll leave
He's
it
going
at
to do
that.
10 push-ups on his back.
10 push-ups. Mr. Beelan, will you be watching that?
Upside down, wise guy.
Beelan, will you watch it Saturday?
I'm not gonna watch the beginning of it, but I want to watch at the end when he wins and what they do.
Okay. Will you stand up and clap while you're watching it?
I'm not a really clapper, no.
Okay.
Beelan will
Jason
be
Garrett.
playing tennis.
No,
Beelan
I will not be
playing
watching
indoor
it.
tennis on Saturday.
I will not be watching it. For Christmas, I was given comedy club tickets for a comedy club up in Baltimore area, and we have to use them by Saturday.
You should
So-
sell them and make money.
We're gonna go see a comedian that's usually that's a regular on the Howard Stern show. So I'll be up.
Who's that?
Greg Fitzsimmons.
Oh,
Atta
yeah,
boy.
I know him.
All
Funny.
right. Mr.
What do you
Kirkpatrick,
got?
you got it. Final
He's related
thoughts.
to Paul, I think, that guy.
Hey, Kurt, what are you going to be doing for the game? Excuse me. What are you going to be doing for the
Me
game?
and Jen are gonna watch it. We later on. We got my nephew. Actually, both their birthday parties. We never did it for Joe. So Xavier's birthday by my parents. So we'll go there. But we'll watch the. We're gonna watch. We'll be there for the beginning.
All joking aside, I'll DVR it and watch. You know, flip through watch some of it through DVR, so I can at least see how the atmosphere was and stuff like that.
All right, Kenny, go ahead. You throw around the final thoughts.
Let's go to let's give you the first final thought, Kurt.
All right, my final thought. I'm gonna go with. Listen, I'm pumped up. I mean, I got this last weekend is college basketball last weekend, and then hey, conference tournaments. Like Beelan said, it's a little appetizer to the real thing. I love March Madness. I think it's awesome. I'm super pumped, but I'm pumped to watch this Big East tournament. Hopefully, my Johnnies with another big win over Xavier tonight. Hopefully, they can make a little run. Sis, your Seton Hall just beat Georgetown by 5.
Thank you.
So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited about football, man. All these rumors, what's going to happen before the draft with what is it, March 14th? They can start talking free agencies. You're going to have trades. Who the hell knows what's going on with Rodgers and Watson and Wilson? So I'm just pumped up because we need a friggin' new quarterback. So I'm pumped up.
I'm going to go next, and so I'm going to change the order up. We'll give somebody who usually doesn't get the final word. We'll give them the final word tonight. Baseball, disappointing. We didn't talk about it, and I don't want it. We brought it up briefly, but baseball doesn't deserve our talk right now, and we're just going to leave it like that. But they may make this USFL, make people watch the USFL. It's going to be something to watch in the springtime, and the USFL may benefit from this. But I'm going to follow the independent leagues. There's a team locally here. They play the Somerset Patriots, Kurt, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs.
Okay.
I'm going to follow them a little bit and go to a couple games for like $15, $20 and, have hot dog here and there. And it's a night out. I'm going to do that. It's about 20 minutes away from here. I'm going to go to a couple games this year and follow them and support them. Let's go to Sis.
Yep, my boys are in the tournament, thank God. And good show tonight, a lot of busting chops like we always do. And looking forward to tomorrow night to our Wits and Wages show.
Absolutely. And to echo off Sis, one more thing, Wits and Wagers tomorrow, but I don't know if you guys all like this kind of format on the off weeks, but I kind of like it. It keeps us on our toes too, where we don't really know what the other person's going to be talking about or bringing up. And it just shows how knowledgeable we all are. And like Sis said, busting chops here and there. We keep it some fun little topics. So
having fun. Yep.
Enjoyed it. Beelan, you're up.
Yeah, man, and like Kurt said, it's another exciting time of the year. You got free agency for NFL. The draft's coming up. I love mock drafts. I'm big on all that type of stuff. March Madness right around the corner. Like I said, with the preview of all these, Big East tournament and all the other stuff going on. And listen, I know we didn't talk about MLB, but I am very, very, very disappointed. They are a bunch of selfish a-holes.
Yep.
It's just mind-boggling how you're in Florida for 10 days and then you finally bring up negotiations that really broke everything 2 days prior to everybody leaving. You had like almost a whole year to do this, and it's just mind-boggling.
Yep.
So hopefully it doesn't go in too long, but I want baseball back, man. I need it back. It's my thing. So
Minor leagues, independent leagues.
And real quick, Kenny, couple comments. Keith totally agrees with Beelan, saying the MLB owners don't deserve the time on your show. I'll agree with that.
They don't.
And
They
Breslin and Coach Breslin saying good show. He's calling this show the night of the cramp.
and the hashtag the cramp show.
The cramp show. I like it. There you go.
But add one more thing, Manfred, the worst commissioner in all sports history. I don't care.
Yep.
He doesn't even give an
He's
answer at the press conference.
He's terrible. Yep.
He's
All right,
whack.
fellas.
Mr. Rosen gets the final thoughts. You're leaving
Thank you.
before Rosen's final thoughts, sis.
Yeah, a fun show, great show. I'm not speaking to Sis anymore. So,
You're going to be deleted off Facebook after the show.
yeah, I mean, I don't want to spend much time about baseball, but I read an article before we came on, and Manfred talked about the fans. They don't give a what about the fans, and that's the problem. All they care about is, how many millions
The money and the greed. Yep.
Yeah, and that's it, and it's unfortunate, really.
Yep.
Yep.
Out of like Beelan just said, I think baseball more than almost every other sport, there's a loyalty to baseball that's been there because I think when we were younger, that's what we first started playing and
Yep.
and watched and stuff.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's the sad part about it.
Good point, Paul. Yep.
But in terms of everything else, the with the tournaments coming, it's going to be exciting.
Yep.
Combine this week, things will come out. Obviously, the Giants and almost every other team will be making some very difficult decisions, and it should be interesting to see what's going to come about. But you know what? It's a new beginning as far as the Giants are concerned. Clearly, your guys are obviously to make some hard decisions over the next week or two also. So it's an exciting time.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Kurt, I think that's a wrap.
Yep.
We will see everybody tomorrow, and then next week, Wednesday, we will be back here for K&K.
Sounds good.
Have a good night,
Fantastic.
everybody.